Good afternoon. The challenge of speaking last is that you have very little time. The other speakers have spoken all that you want to say, in addition to keeping your profile confidential. Okay. Well, thank you very much for inviting me for this session, and it's a pleasure to be in the midst of you. As I was flipping through the desktop this morning, I read this quote, and I thought it was so appropriate in today's context and the subject that we're talking about. The globalization bug has bitten us, and we are surging ahead so fast that even if we want to look back, there's no way we can do that. Unlike in the Cold War era, which took about 100 years or so, globalization will take less than half the time, and in many countries all over the world it's catching up. It is in this context that we are going to see the challenges and imperatives of the global manager. What is being said here is well described by Thomas Friedman in his book Lexus and the Olive Tree. He says, the challenges in this era of globalization for countries and individuals is to find a healthy balance between preserving a sense of identity, home and community, and doing what it takes to survive within the globalization system. This is like coexistence of the Lexus and the Olive Tree. Any society that wants to thrive economically today must constantly be trying to build a better Lexus that it can drive into the world. So also, a country without healthy olive trees will never feel rooted or secure enough to open up fully into the world and reach out into them. The challenge of the global manager is a constant struggle in balancing these two. So what are the kind of questions that keep coming up in the minds of the global manager? Should we be developing global brands or developing brands to tailor to local market? To what extent can he create a brand that is uniformly acceptable? Let me share with you our own company's experience. We brought in the global brands. Good for you products like water, juices, healthy for you products like the Gatorade and Quaker Oats. We are also exporting our own local fun for you kurkure into the US. So that's the challenge that we keep facing all the time. There is also the opportunities and the risks in terms of the supply chain, in terms of the cultural diversity, and how do you tailor all of them to make the organization successful. So what are the imperatives? Anderson Consulting just completed a survey, and it kind of interviewed managers from 90 companies across the world, and they listed down about 14 or so criterion which best describes, among them, an ability to think globally, appreciate cultural diversity, foster teamwork, share leadership, and be on top of technology. It's a small set, it's a small sample, but not very earth-shattering. But what it brings to attention, yet again, is the question, what are the challenges that the management or the leadership faces at each and every level? Some of them, as I see, is what I've attempted to list here. It's very important for a manager to look at diversity and inclusion. He's no longer dealing with just one set of people. He not only has to hire different kinds of people from different countries, he has to build a diverse culture and provide a platform for inclusion. And that's the key word. The profile of the global manager is not just to look at the global market. He has to look at the Indian market as well, the local market as well, and the ingredients that go to make him a global manager is very simple, basic awareness, exposure, some of these things the other speakers already mentioned, comprehension, conviction and maturity. These will form the base of managers who want to look globally.